My treatment was an open radical prostatectomy in December 2004. I chose it mainly through the suggestion of my surgeon after consultation with him and looking at my stats and with his experience. That was his suggestion. I concurred, and I also think that I felt happier that it was a treatment that took the prostate away. I had an open radical prostatectomy. That's a procedure where the prostate is actual fact taken from the body, and hopefully in the early stages of prostate cancer, it's one way of taking the cancer away from you. Hopefully it's inside the prostate. I suppose the concern that most people have, being told that you've got a form of cancer and what the prognosis of that is in the long term. I suppose I had some concerns about having surgery. I was reasonably philosophic about the surgery and hoped, of course, that the treatment would give me a good prognosis, which it has done. I think there were a number of factors. Education was one. As soon as I was diagnosed, like a lot of patients these days, I became an instant internet expert and did a lot of study of my own to try and find out the treatments that are available to me, the reasons you would have those treatments, and the outcomes. More importantly, talking to my surgeon, of course, was very important, where we were able to go through with his experience and my education and map out what was probably the course I should take. I have become an advocate for support groups since my surgery, but didn't avail myself of their benefits prior to that. Probably my doctor, my wife, and friends. I was very fortunate that I had a friend who, once he knew I was diagnosed, recommended I should call a friend of his, and I spoke to him. He was a complete stranger, and I spoke to him for an hour, and that was very helpful. It made me feel more comfortable with my condition. He and I could empathise together. He could tell me about outcomes, and that was, in hindsight, a very important call. The radical prostatectomy, from a layman's point of view, was quite bearable. It's major surgery. There were a couple of days where you were reasonably uncomfortable. The education by Jane Matthews prior to the operation was very helpful. It prepared you for what to expect. It prepared you for things that might happen post the operation, and when those things happened, it wasn't a mystery and they were fixed. But within 3 or 4 days, I was reasonably normal, a little bit of pain, but I was up walking around, going to the coffee shop with friends and having coffee. 2 weeks later, I was back to normal. A month later, I was back playing golf. I would still choose a radical prostatectomy. At the time, a robotic prostatectomy was not available to me, so I'd have to today think about the pluses and minuses of that particular treatment. But a prostatectomy would be, a radical prostatectomy would still be what I would choose given my circumstances.